Yo. Cool. All right. I think it's been not too long since the last ramble, just about a month. So I think in the last ramble I mentioned that I was going to finish up remaxing, getting 99 sailing. So I did that yesterday, a little bit over, not too much over. So yeah, there's the magical 2376, and it wasn't too bad. I did a mixture of methods. I finished charting, obviously, but even after charting, I did a little bit of the Jubilee, the Jubilee Jive, the Barracuda trial, and I did a little bit of Gwyneth Glide, the other Barracuda trial, the one that's in this region. I actually like Jubilee better. I think it's a little bit more interesting. This one is pretty linear. Jubilee like loops back on itself a lot. But yeah, I did a bit of that. Then I did a bit of salvaging. So let me go and let's talk about everything that happened. I guess. Well, I guess it's finally nice to use this thing again, man. It was very annoying, not being able to use it. I'm gonna go to the Mitts Guild actually. There's a good reason for that, but let's get there and then let's do some talking. Yeah, so it took about a month. I finished at rank 1992, which is pretty similar to the rank that I finished maxing at originally, 5 years ago. Pretty good. Didn't lose much money, more or less like 1 million to build everything, but it was very cheap. So I don't know what Jagex was saying in the blog about it being very expensive, but it can be, I guess, if you want to like really max out your boats and stuff, just like your POH, but you don't really have to get the most out of the game, and in this case, the most out of the skill. So, pretty cheap. Bank value went up a lot. I think that's being driven in part by two things. One is that dexes are at 40 mil, right now, and the other is I got 8 of these cannons from salvaging, which is crazy because on rate you get 1.5 from 99, and yeah, I was on rate for about that much, so this is insanely lucky. It was kind of a meme in the Discord that I'm in, though, like, Para, how are you getting so many? It's not that common. So I don't know. Let me drop some of these items. I guess that's useless. And then these, I think, can go inside of the tackle box. Oh, are you serious? You have to do it like this? Okay. One at a time. Okay, I think you can put these in here too, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. And then outfit, yeah, everything went away. Cool. All right, yeah. So sailing went pretty well. It was pretty fast, all things considered. I don't think it's too bad as a result. Oh, sorry. I have to describe why I'm here. I wanted to cook all of these. Originally, I didn't because I thought that I might want to keep them around for fine fish offcuts, which you just saw, but the deep sea trawling is not really a good method in terms of XP. Wait, am I not? Oh, shoot. Damn it. Alright, well, that was my B moment. Okay. Yeah. So, I wanted to just, chill and get these done. So, yeah, so sailing wasn't too bad. Pretty fast. Even if you do the AFK method of salvaging, it's like 110k XP an hour, which very, very reasonable in my opinion. Up to 240 if you're really good. I know DK Ho, former rank 2, got 255k even, but 240 for humans, and somebody like me probably like 230, which is very good. That's like a very fast XP per hour type of skill. So no real complaints. I think it was pretty ambitious in terms of what it is. There's so many different methods, but just like any other skill, half of them are useless, and it's only like one or two actually really good methods. In this case, it would be kind of like Barracuda Trials is kind of like the granite, and then 1.5 tick. What's it called? Salvaging at Opulent Salvage would be kind of like VM Volcanic Mine. So there's it's still worse obviously, but it's not horrible in terms as far as methods go. Oh man, cool. Yeah. So overall, I'm okay with it. I'm just glad to be maxed again, honestly. There was a period of time at the beginning when you had to do a lot of farming and, cooking and stuff, and I was getting annoyed. I had to, like, have a crafting cape, a construction cape, a farming cape out, and if I was, like, actually playing the game, like, doing Slayer on top of that, like, I'd have to have that cape out as well, and I don't want to do that. Like, that's just not fun. It reminds me of how I used to play in 2019 and 2020, and I maxed for a reason originally. So I'm glad to be back. I'm glad that this is done with now. Cool. Yeah. I think I mentioned that after that, my plans were to go to Doom and then to Yama. And with Coliseum mixed in there, obviously. I think that that's still accurate. I haven't changed my mind. I pretty much just bum rushed this 99 right from the beginning. Um, yeah, if you look at my Temple OSRS, it's the ranks are crazy. And I didn't even max that fast, honestly. There were a lot of people that maxed within 2 weeks, which is crazy. 4 is pretty reasonable, especially while you're working. Very fair, in my opinion. Cool. So yeah, still planning on doing those things. It's just that I am going to go visit Asia to visit some family next week. So I'll be out probably until January, and then I'll actually start doing some stuff. I might do like a little bit of Slayer first, just because I want to do a little bit of Frost Dragons, but I have no serious plans about making all the best boats right now. At some point, I'll go back and do 20 mil, but the skill will be buffed for sure at some point in the next year. So whenever that happens, I'll go do the 20 mil with my max cape and everything. But for now, I've had enough sailing. I've done it for a month. Cool. Anything else to discuss with respect to sailing? Well, in terms of the bank, like, everything's cleaned up. Like, I don't have, everything's back to normal as you'd expect. Yes, this rosewood pipe. That's what I wanted to discuss. Yeah. So my understanding is that this is good for Doom. That's why I just went and grinded this out today. I thought that it would be like a good addition to the situation. It's like a good spec weapon comparable to these dragon knives, and I don't really have that many, despite doing tons and tons of worms and even Hydra. But I got more of these. Yeah, I think it is pretty good, but it's not good as a main weapon because it only shoots up to adamant and has very limited accuracy. But for tagging Slayer, for example, I think this is pretty good because it doesn't use scales, and I can finally use these Addy darts that I've had since like ages ago. So that's good. Where did I put this? I put this here, right? Cool. I'll fix this all later, but I think we're in a good position. I forget what my current Slayer task is. What is it? Oh, next. This is a good task, actually. I'll probably go do like up to 1250 at some point, get some points. But it's pretty dire right now. But this will be good for that, I think. How does this look? Yeah, actually, that's cool. I'll probably have to replace a bunch of bank tags with that. No, don't forget this. I'll probably have to replace a bunch of these bank tags. Overall, though, I think sailing's okay. A little bit too much for me, honestly. I think the number of collection logs that are associated with this skill is way higher than any other skill. No other skill has this many different methods, and there's definitely some collection log bloat. Like let's go here. Okay, like these I think is reasonable. Like, yeah, sure, these are uniques, whatever. This, like, why do they need to be 8 parts and each of them a collection log? I'm not really sure. And then on top of that, like each of these is like a bit egregious too. Like the original 9 bounty hunter things are not like this, but the Rev, what's it called? Relics are. So maybe it just depends. This is egregious in my opinion. Like, these don't need to exist. These are just like such bloat to the collection log. Yeah, it's fast, but like, does this really need to exist? So I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of this kind of stuff. I didn't bother grinding out too many of these. If you just want 99, you don't need to care about most of these. And Mod Husky said that too. He was like, you don't really need to care about most of them. You can do everything with Canfer and Addy, and that's indeed what I did. Everything with Canfer and Addy. At some point, maybe I'll keep doing Frost Dragon tasks like here and there, and like slowly build these out. But I'm certainly not going to rush it. And I'm not going to go off task or anything. Good thing about salvaging is you also get tons of kits. So I have plenty of food for the boat if I ever do combat later. Right now, I think ship combat's in a very bad state. I tried a little bit, and it was just the DPS is so bad that it's just not worth it right now. It'll be addressed. There was a survey, a poll that's happening right now, and I voted in this survey, so I gave them my view and about what I'm happy with, what I'm unhappy with, and I think most people agree that combat could use a little bit of love. So I'm sure they'll change it sometime in January, but by that time I'll be back into PVM for sure. Cool. Yeah, nothing else in the bank has changed. Obviously, it's just sailing stuff. So there's literally nothing else. I don't think so, at least, besides these uniques that came all from sailing. So total bank slots is 570. Oh, I did get like a bunch of herbs. Like I'm up over 8,000 lantidimes now, which is actually enough to use all these lava scale shards finally. I think I needed 7870. So I got enough now, which is nice. But I have no plans on using these up right now. What I might do is like wait for some bingo or competition and then just like dump these and finish up maybe, I don't know how much that is, probably like 15 million experience. I'll probably wait till I have more and then just dump them all. But I'll have to gather secondaries for a lot of these because I don't actually have them. Like I have 1,000 nests and, well, first of all, even just these two is like 6,500, but then this would be like another 14,000, so like 20,000 nests, which is a ton of birdhouse runs or a ton of mole, or either way it's slow. So there's those. I got a couple of these seeds, which is good. My other 3 rosewood seeds are planted at Fossil Island and protected right now, so I'll pick those up on Monday probably. So that's why I had to be chopping at Drumstick Isle, because they're not ready yet, and I wanted this blowpipe. Now this blowpipe, I think is going to be good, and anything else really? That's pretty much it, I think. So yeah, that's a pretty short ramble. I'm just gonna get back to slaying, get back to PVM, but first go take care of IRL obligations, and that's pretty much that. Thank you, and next ramble probably will be in quite some time, like after I come back and get raids ready again, which is going to involve multiple bosses before I'm TOA ready. So I would say look forward to something maybe end of Q1, so mid-March or late March of 2026. All right, thank you, and we'll see you in the next one.